Hey, Neil Warnock has been charged by the FA over comments he made about refereeing following Cardiff City's 2-1 defeat to Chelsea on the 31st of March, which is actually nearly 2 weeks ago. I'm surprised the FA have taken this long to charge Neil Warnock. Let's have a little look about what they charged him for. He's been charged over the controversial comments he made. He did say that the officiating was the worst in the world. That is very strong language in this sense. But it took them nearly 2 weeks to charge him. He has until Tuesday to respond. He made the comments in post-match interviews with the BBC and Sky, and the charge relates to the fact that they were improper in that they questioned the integrity of match officials and implied bias. He also has been further charged. It's further alleged that comments made in a TalkSport interview on the 1st of April, which is the day after, also constitute improper conduct and or bringing the game into disrepute. So that's what he's been charged with. The thing is, though, it's not surprising that refereeing standards are being questioned, considering that no referees from the Premier League were at the World Cup for the first time in donkey's years, that an English official hasn't officiated a major tournament. And he's not the first person in football to question the refereeing standards. There are a lot of fan groups, coaches, players, ex-players, experts, all questioning the falling standards, and even ex-referees like Graham Poll have come out and said, yeah, standards aren't as good as what they were when I was refereeing a decade or so ago. So that is telling in itself, is that ex-referees are saying the standards aren't as good as what they were 5-10 years ago. But he has been charged. But I'm surprised it's taken this long for the FA to charge him for improper conduct, considering that the interviews given were on the 31st of March and the 1st of April. That's nearly 2 weeks ago. So it is interesting, but he's got until Tuesday to respond. So he's got until the beginning of next week. And I would expect with this is Neil Warnock, he's had touchline bans before and fines before from the FA. I wouldn't be surprised if he cops a touchline ban for a couple of games and a hefty fine of around £10,000. I wouldn't be surprised if he cops a fine and a touchline ban. But that's not going to stop managers and pundits and fans and ex-officials for criticising the state of the game. I understand the pressure that officials are under, but at the same time, the refereeing standards aren't as good as what they were in the English Premier League and in English football in general. The amount of games I've managed to watch this season in the FA Cup, I've been critical of the use of VAR. I think they're not using it correctly. Some of the decisions they're giving are very soft. Really soft, and they are missing some clear fouls as well. There was some, because I think officials have become so reliant on VAR in certain games. When they are refereeing a game without VAR, they're not refereeing in the same way. You could look at the Man City victory over Swansea in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, which they should have lost. 2 of their goals should not have been counted if VAR had been in operation. You have to look at Millwall's defeat to Brighton. There was a clear-cut obstruction for one of their goals where a player was taken out off the ball in the build-up. So refereeing standards, they're missing stone wall offences on the field. I will agree with Neil Warnock on that sense that refereeing standards aren't as good. But at the same time, in the heat at the moment, he's implying that there's a bias towards certain sides over other sides, and there's a deliberate bias there. It's an interesting one. The talk is going to continue, but he has been charged by the FA over the comments he made following his side's 2-1 defeat to Chelsea. It'll be interesting to see how he responds and the length of touchline ban and fine he gets. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below, and I will have some more videos for you soon.